by double figures. It should be mentioned Brandon Roy was injured for 2 of those games. Carlos Boozer, mind you, missed 1 of them for Utah. But Deron Williams and the Jazz are playing at a very, very high level right now. Time now for tonight's starting lineups presented by Verizon Wireless. We begin with the Jazz. Wesley Matthews now a starter after the trade of Ronnie Brewer to Memphis at the trade deadline. Andrei Kirilenko playing very well. Mehmet Okur not with the Jazz tonight. His wife had a baby a couple of days ago. Paul Millsap into the starting lineup along with Carlos Boozer. For the Blazers, Andre Miller and a less than 100% Brandon Roy in the backcourt. Martell Webster, LaMarcus Aldridge, and in his second game as a Blazer, Marcus Camby is the man in the middle. Of course, the season-long injuries to Odin and Prisvilla. So Camby comes over from the Clippers looking for him to rebound, block some shots, and protect the paint. Bennett Salvatore, Derek Collins, Derek Richardson are officials tonight, and we are underway. Nice look inside, and immediately Williams finds Boozer.
Well, they have outscored this team through the first 3 matchups, 98-60 in the first period. So it's been a fast start for the Utah Jazz thus far tonight and in the prior matchups.
In their win here at the end of January, they led 21-2. And 1 going away. Brandon Roy on the board early. We saw him Friday night doors against Boston. He played 34 minutes despite the hamstring problem, but he doesn't appear to be quite himself. 3 for 8, just 9 points.
Well, the guy, I think, Dan, has just got to be aggressive and assertive. They were standing around waiting for him to get started offensively. The ball has to move, and he has to be involved.
Martell Webster shaken up, grimacing a little bit as he makes his way into the front court after the Utah miss.
I will send congratulations to Mehmet Okur on the birth of his child and say, treat your wife well, that's hard work.
A little boy whose name I believe is pronounced Yeet Mehmet Okur. Mehmet is his middle name, so a second game that Okur has missed. Wesley Matthews with a burst of speed, and the rookie out of Marquette. Let me correct that. The undrafted rookie out of Marquette has become a starter, but a guy that Jerry Sloan thinks if he keeps working, he's got a chance to be a pretty good player.
Well, just yet another terrific find by an organization who has a knack for finding those guys in the second round. We saw him at Marquette, a staunch defender, Wesley Matthews.
Aldridge, good defense by Boozer, who's really got to play the center spot tonight with no Okur. Deron Williams turns it over, and the offensive foul called on Brandon Roy, who's going to get right in the grill of Bennett Salvatore.
It does look like both guys, and again, Utah will be physical with you, but who is initiating that contact? I'm not sure I want to make that call right there. It's each guy giving as good as they get. And remember, and Nate addressed this with his local media. He said Utah's a team that will challenge you physically when they're on the offensive end of the floor, let alone the defensive end.
Paul Millsap and his ability to shoot the mid-range jumper, pulling Marcus Camby away from the basket. Millsap now will take a 3. And we've got a foul going against Utah. It'll be Boozer. Now, one of the winningest coaches in NBA history, Jerry Sloan, his 22nd year at the helm of the Utah Jazz, and he will record his 21st winning season out of 22 this year. Really a remarkable run.
Well, a well-deserved Hall of Fame induction. Just a guy who is rock solid, consistent winner.
Roy trying the double team. And a defensive 3-second call, technical foul. Jerry Sloan says, I don't know if we're that hot, because that was the first question we asked him before the game. You've won 16 out of 18. Why are you so hot? He said, I don't know if we're hot, but we're finding a way to win games. And Jerry Sloan does not throw praise around very easily as Andre Miller misses the technical. But boy, they've gone from out of the playoff picture up to 3rd place in the West in about 5 weeks.
Yeah, I think the thing he's got to be most pleased about over the last couple years, the knock on the Utah Jazz has been their inability to win away from home. Well, guess what? They're 13-12 now, 1 game above 500.
They've won 6 in a row away from home. That's the longest road winning streak since a couple of guys named Stockton and Malone were playing for the Jazz. Camby with a block, but there to clean up the mess is Paul Millsap, a very opportunistic young man, a terrific rebounder both at the collegiate level at Louisiana Tech and again here in the NBA.
And improving on the offensive end, I think with a very high upside because of that athleticism. He can run and get 8 points a game if he hits the offensive glass.
Roy in the post, doesn't get the bounce, rebound Boozer. Williams and Miller, the battle at the point. Two strong guards. Boozer is fouled on his way to the goal. And it's going to be Brandon Roy, I believe. So that's 2 early fouls on Brandon Roy. And Roy's got to go to the bench as Rudy Fernandez will check in. On the NBA calendar on NBA TV Tuesday, it'll be the Lakers at Memphis at 8 Eastern. Kobe Bryant expected to return for that game and then also play Wednesday night on ESPN. The Lakers at Dallas. Doubleheader Thursday on TNT. Cleveland at Boston. Denver at Golden State. And then the Sunday showcase on ABC. Phoenix at San Antonio at 1. Denver and the Lakers at 3:30.
So not exactly a great start after Friday night's dismal performance on both ends by the Blazers against the Boston Celtics. Now you've got Brandon Roy on the bench. And this is a team that's had to kind of reinsert new positions. Oh, nice pass.
Miller to Webster for the slam. Darren Williams is shaken up. Williams fell and don't want to speculate what it is, but got up very slowly, grimacing as he makes his way and still not running very well at all as he comes off the ball. Something wrong with the all-star point guard.
Yeah, he's just staying out of the action as well.
Millsap, good help by Fernandez. 4 to shoot. Matthews and Camby and Aldridge both go up for the rebound. Aldridge comes down with it.
It'll be interesting to see how Andre Miller looks to score here, because one of the things that Nate said was, can't wait for Brandon. Well, Brandon's out now. Fernandez struggled against the Celtics. Does he get some stuff going?
Great penetration by Fernandez, and then the find to get Portland back within 1 on the basket by Miller.
So that had a good sequence. Get off the dribble drive, force defenders to react a little bit, and get an easy basket.
Rudy Fernandez missing a lot of time this year after back surgery and double-figure scorer a year ago. Numbers down this year. Millsap the miss, Camby the rebound. Miller on the drive, lays it in.
Yeah, just like I thought. I mean, he's got to be assertive and looking to score the basketball. And you got 2 very physically strong guards who, when they get close to the rim, can take contact and still score it.
Portland back on top by a point. Brandon Roy on the bench with 2 fouls. Williams the miss. Kirilenko the tap and a fresh 24. Well, Williams looking like whatever was bothering him, he has recovered rather quickly. Tough to keep him out of the paint.
Let's take a look at exactly where, because he's still hobbling just a little bit. He bangs bodies, it looks like, with Paul Millsap. Gets up slowly.
Don't know if maybe he just stubbed his toe on the right foot, but it was bothering him. Appears better now as he steps to the line. The Olympian, the first-time All-Star. This year, the first time Darren Williams named to the All-Star game, and it was right near home. He's from Texas. And you can see him, he just lifted up that right foot there and flexed his right leg a little bit. Williams 3rd in the NBA in assists and just playing some great basketball, leading Utah on this 16-2 run over the last 18 games.
How about this? If I were to tell you there's only one point guard in the NBA who's averaged 16 points and 9 assists over the last 4 years, I would think you'd think Chris Paul, Steve Nash. It's actually Darren Williams.
And Williams, of course, named to Team USA's 27-man provisional roster again, as was his teammate Carlos Boozer, both of them Olympians a couple of years ago. The unstoppable jump hook of LaMarcus Aldridge, just so much length.
It's nice to see a guy who's got that kind of length, 6'11", but Dan, inside-out skills, can handle the basketball.
Aldridge knocks it away. Fernandez, Webster. And now Miller will slow it down. Great cut by Rudy Fernandez. And Portland on a roll. At the other end, Andre Kirilenko gets it to go. The Jazz have started playing better, Doris, since he was moved into the starting lineup.
No, exactly right. If you're going to ask Jerry Sloan what's the biggest difference, it's Kirilenko's play, impacting both ends, Dan.
Marcus Camby. Camby struggled in his first game as a Blazer Friday night against Boston. 2 points, 7 rebounds, 5 turnovers, 3 blocks, as Boozer is called for the travel.
Been a lot of talk in Utah. The players a little bit upset over the trading of Ronnie Brewer, and Jerry Sloan was asked, how do you get him back going? He said, what am I supposed to do? Go in the locker room and hand them candy and make them feel better?
Yeah, Jerry Sloan's the wrong guy to go to looking for sympathy. A 1-point lead for the Portland Trailblazers. Brandon Roy in early foul trouble. A couple of quick ones within 3 minutes. But Rudy Fernandez has come off the bench and given the Blazers a spark in the early going tonight. They won 16 of their last 18 and now third in the West. A lot of folks after the trade deadline said Lakers and Cavs, got to be Lakers and Cavs based on what we know about these teams right now. So we asked Carlos Boozer how it feels when he hears that.
We've always been under the radar. You know, we've been one of them teams that kind of fly by through the season. I think coaches had like 20-win seasons or 21-winning seasons. And for us, you know, we feel like as long as we know what we're doing and we're confident in what we're able to do, we have a chance. And we've gotten a lot better during the course of the season. People can keep talking about the Lakers and Cavs, and we're going to continue to beat the Utah Jazz. And when the playoffs are here, we'll be right there.
They continue to talk about the Utah Jazz, always one of the better executing teams in the league. But Dan, they've got the highest percentage of assisted field goals. They're second in the league in paint points. The problem becomes when you play the Lakers, everything goes inside out for the Jazz. Well, now you're looking at Gasol, Bynum, and Odom challenging your ability to score points in the paint.
C.J. Miles in off the bench for Utah, taking over for Andrei Kirilenko misses his first jumper. One of the reasons they made the Ronnie Brewer trade is they felt they had a glut on the wing with Matthews, Miles, Kyle Korver. So they traded Brewer for a future first-round pick. We've seen the jump hook from Aldridge. Now we've seen the turnaround jumper.
Well, and Brewer would have been a restricted free agent who would have demanded starting two-guard money. And not sure they would want to match that. Williams
to Boozer. How many times have we said that?
Yeah, it's very much like Stockton and Malone. I mean, their plays are the same.
Carlos Boozer relieved not to have been traded, he says, at the deadline. His name was in a lot of rumors, of course. But the Jazz are playing at such a high level, Boozer will be a free agent at the end of the season. Millsap leaves the 12-footer short. Rebound Camby. Here comes Miller. Portland is not a team that's going to push the ball up the court all that often. It's not their game, and Andre Miller, new to the team this year, it's not really his game. Webster misses the three. And again, Portland has had nothing but trouble with Utah this year. 3 double-digit defeats.
How many times have you seen this play? It's one generation to the next. You mentioned Stockton Malone. Well, Darren Williams and Carlos Boozer are equally effective. Screen and roll, bounce pass as he dives to the rim. It's just, you can see why they get so many paint points. Efficient offensive production.
And there you can see the number of times that Darren Williams has assisted on a Carlos Boozer field goal. Williams, third in the league in assists, as mentioned, averaging almost 10 per game. Nicholas Batum and Juwan Howard have come in off the Portland bench. Howard backing up Camby now after being the starter for a while after the injuries to Odom and Prisvilla, as Andre Miller knocks down the 15-footer.
So a fairly big lineup outside of Andre Miller. You've got a lot of long athletic players on the floor for Portland right now.
Millsap, Williams in the post, good help. Boozer follows it up, can't get it to go again. 2 great opportunities run around the rim for Carlos Boozer. Aldridge got Boozer in the air. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. And Miller fouled on his way to the rim. Wesley Matthews called for the foul. You talked about how the Jazz have done such a great job finding talent. Of the 12 players they've got on their roster right now, only 3 of them were first-round picks. Wow. 6 second-round picks, and 3 others who weren't drafted at all, one of those being Wesley Matthews.
It just seems like there's such stability in the organization to me, Dan, and so you have some time to, when you're making moves, regardless of whether it's draft picks or trades, to think long-term, to think out 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Jerry Sloan's job is not on the line on a nightly basis. They're sticking with this guy, and for good reason. I just love that line. What am I supposed to do? Go give him candy and make him feel better? That is classic Sloan.
And Miller knocks down a pair. Well, Jerry Sloan, as we all know, going to be awfully tough on his players, especially young players finding their way and having to learn quickly in the NBA. But boy, they play the game the right way. They execute and run their stuff as well as any team in the league. Other coaches will tell you, we know what they're going to do, and sometimes we still can't stop it.
It's like the trap in football. If everybody does their job, you should get three yards in a cloud of dust. You screen and roll, and you've got, I think, the consummate point guard, the perfect guy personality-wise in Deron Williams to match Jerry Sloan. Neither guy is a self-promoter by any stretch.
Defensive 3-second call, and Williams knocks down the technical.
Deron Williams is a guy who throughout his entire career, whether in high school with a guy named Bracy Wright who went on to play at Indiana, Dee Brown at Illinois, and then you play in the shadow of Chris Paul, who's such an effervescent personality. This guy took him a while to get the credit in the All-Star game.
Boozer rolls off the rim again. Tough start tonight around the rim for Boozer. Full head of steam, Batum, and he draws the foul. So Utah trailing. Talked about Deron Williams, an all-star for the first time this year. We'll show you his all-star experience when we come back. Deron Williams, as we mentioned, he plays the game with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. We mean that in a positive way. It fuels him to a certain extent. It's helped him become one of the great point guards in the NBA.
Okay, that last shot, you got to look as he hung above the rim at the size of his forearm. And you can skin the cat a lot of different ways. With Chris Paul at speed and that unbelievable handle he has, with Deron, and he's as trim as we've seen him. He had a little bit of a Charles Barkley thing going on at Illinois, but he's leaned himself out and he looks fantastic, but he's still such a tough, strong, physical matchup. He can bully you and post you up.
Very vocal guy as well, and wasn't particularly happy with the trade of Ronnie Brewer, whom he described as kind of like a little brother to him. Gave up Brewer, got a future first-round pick back, and helped them get closer down to the luxury tax threshold, but it was not a popular trade with Williams, among others, as he misses the three-way long, and back comes Miller. Fernandez, a spark off the bench for Roy, who's got a couple of early fouls. Aldridge with a long jumper. He's off to a good start.
Just love his game. What do you do? How do you guard him? Because he can, shoot the straight-up jump shot. If you get into his grill, he'll go by you with the dribble.
And an 8-1 run right now for Portland as they've opened up an 8-point lead on the Jazz.
Well, just going back to that trade, that's the personal side. These are guys that spend so much time. You have friendships. For Deron Williams, he said, that was the quietest plane ride I've ever endured because of the way it played. They just couldn't get the communication in the way they wanted to. So you've got to pull Ronnie Brewer off the plane and then travel on. It's awful.
Ronnie Price, number 17, the backup point guard, has taken over for Williams right now. The word on Williams, by the way, apparently he got kneed in the thigh, and they are tending to him again on the Utah bench. Remember the ankle problem that really hampered him a lot of last year. He missed some time, played through it for long stretches, but boy, a healthy Deron Williams is pivotal to Utah's success. And Miller going right down in the post to try to take advantage of the smaller Price.
Well, what happened? When Deron Williams was in the ball game, he tried to post him up, and he forced Andre Miller to give it up because he couldn't bully my man Deron Williams. Well, guess what? Mr. Price is a little bit easier to pick on down there. Probably be like picking on you, Dan Schulman. What are you? You're lean and mean, 6'4".
Here's Miller to the line. The undisputed now #1 point guard for Portland. Steve Blake along with Travis Outlaw going in the trade that brought Marcus Camby to Portland. Aldridge out. Dante Cunningham, the rookie out of Villanova, will check into the game. Very good start tonight for Aldridge. And it's such a, Nate McMillan talked about this with us before the game. Every week it seems either somebody's getting hurt, somebody's getting healthy. Now they've made a trade, lost some guys, and they've been in kind of a constant state of flux so far this season.
I think it's miraculous the job that Nate McMillan and his staff has done, sort of juggling personnel, keeping the guys up, and more important than anything else, believing that when they step between the lines, they should win games.
Jazz have missed their last 6 shots, make it 7. Boy, tough rim for them tonight.
Yeah, and some of them, a lot of them chippies and shots Carlos Boozer, other guys don't normally miss.
Miller right back down in the post. Good help by Kirilenko. Batum got it.
So about the best start you can have after an abysmal night, the worst shooting night, the worst scoring night Friday night against Boston, and the Blazers have shown up again.
Away from the ball, a foul on Rudy Fernandez as he protests the call. Well, Portland was really flat on Friday night, and it was their most lopsided defeat of the season, losing by 20 to Boston. Nate McMillan wasn't happy, and he'd love to have some time, extra practices, help everybody fit in together as they get healthy and get Camby, but they don't have that luxury. They're in the 8th and final playoff spot right now in the ultra-competitive Western Conference.
Yeah, no rhythm yet for them. They've started off so well.
Boozer with a fadeaway. Lots of rim, not a whole lot of net so far for the Jazz tonight. Great steal by Price, and an easy call there on the offensive foul.
Nice anticipation by Price, but the defender is not 2,000 and late. He is right on time, gets himself outside the restricted area. Nice job by Fernandez. Don't give up on the play because you make a mistake on one end.
Now the crowd really engaged tonight. Seeing Portland play so much better than they did 48 hours ago. Miller, not a big three-point shooter, misses that one, and now Utah can hold for the final shot. Wesley Matthews tried to hand it off, turns it over. Price with a steal as the first quarter comes to a close with Portland leading Utah by 13 points.
Teams have met again. We'll reiterate. Utah outscored them in the first period 98-60, all told in those 3 games. 5 minutes without a field goal. And again, they've averaged about 62% field goal shooting in the first 3. But I think you've got a Blazer team that was looking to respond to their Friday night effort against the Celtics.
Fernandez, nifty pass to Dante Cunningham. You and I both got a chance to see Cunningham develop over 4 years at Villanova, and that jump shot went from a liability to a huge strength for him by the time he became a senior, and he is money from 15 to 17 feet.
Yeah, he's the product of a military family, Dan. It's discipline. You ask Dante Cunningham to do a job, he will do a job.
Did a job right there on Paul Millsap. Jared Bayless now in at the point. He was one of the few Blazers who played well Friday against Boston. Batum steps in, knocks it down. All Blazers so far.
I would have liked to have been at the Portland practice yesterday because Nate McMillan was not pleased with their effort, and I guarantee you he let him know in practice.
Kyle Korver's in the game for Utah. That's him with the ball right now. The Jazz have missed their last 9 shots. Portland is on a 13-0 run right now. Ronnie Price.
Yeah, we've not gotten word. We're trying to get some word on Brandon Roy because that hamstring again has caused him to miss some games. He's got at the table waiting to come in, and I wonder if he isn't, if he hasn't tweaked it, if he isn't feeling something.
Well, picked up the 2 early fouls in the way Rudy Fernandez is playing tonight. Nate McMillan not rushing to get Roy back into the game. Fernandez off the bench. 4 points, couple of assists already. Kirill Fasinko is into the game also for Utah. Big guy number 44. Rudy Fernandez making it happen at both ends.
He'll check out, but he gets speed. Price gets the step with the speed, but you can see the size differential, the long arms. Nice defensive play. They're just playing harder. Their competition, their competitive spirit is so much better than it was Friday night.
Fernandez to the bench. Roy back into the game defending Korver. Korver leans in. Good no call there. Rebound Cunningham. Korver's starting to get more minutes. Had knee surgery in October, and there's a carry. Good call by Bennett Salvatore. Jared Bayless didn't like it, but he carried it. Rudy Fernandez didn't like it.
Well, Brandon very comfortable playing alongside Steve Blake, and I think he's got to find his rhythm now with Jared Bayless at the point, with Andre Miller at the point.
Korver, nice pass. Millsap got it. Millsap's only about 6'7" and a half, and he plays the 4, sometimes even the 5 if necessary, but he's got a knack of getting that shot up off the glass.
Certain guys do. DeJuan Blair is another one from San Antonio. Always able to score against larger defenders.
Howard in relief of Camby in the middle right now for Portland, and there's a foul on C.J. Miles. Number 2 on Miles. Miles will get more minutes after the Ronnie Brewer trade. Wesley Matthews will get more minutes. They've got Korver. They've still got a lot of options on the wing.
And Korver getting healthier. You know he can stretch the defense when he has got his legs underneath him.
Cunningham. One from the left, one from the right.
Yeah, the transformation, that guy is extraordinary. And the post guys at Villanova under Jay Wright have a way of just kind of plugging away and eventually adding to their repertoire offensively.
Jerry Sloan said in the interview at the end of the first quarter, we've got to make that extra pass. Ronnie Price will do it himself. So a couple of big baskets off the bench for Price. Bayless, a guy who's also going to get more minutes for Portland after the Steve Blake trade down to the Clippers. Good ball fake there by Bayless, and he'll be shooting free throws when we come back. We'll step aside. Look at the field goal percentages, Doris, for Utah in the first 3 games, all wins against Portland this year, and look at the struggles tonight.
Jerry Sloan told you at the end of the first period that he felt like the ball had stopped. But they also missed some shots in that first period that we normally see them make. 2 chippies by Carlos Boozer, 1 by Millsap.
Utah on a 6-game road winning streak. They've won 16 of 18 overall. At this moment, they are a game back of Denver for the lead in the Northwest Division and 2nd place in the Western Conference. And obviously that could be huge come playoff time. Denver defeating Boston today. Incidentally, Utah and Denver have already wrapped up their season series. Denver taking 3 out of 4. So the Nuggets would win the tiebreaker.
Well, in that bottom line that just showed you the winning percentage on the road, to me, what Hubie Brown says is gospel. And I know one of the things he always looks at is what is your road winning percentage? Are you above 500? And in fact, they are above it 52% of the time, winning on the road. That's the mark of good teams.
And in recent years, beautiful feet inside, and Fasenko finishes with the slam. Nice pass by Miles. In recent years, even when Utah was a very good team, a lot of times they had incredible home winning percentage, but really struggled on the road. They're a lot more balanced, doing a lot better on the road this year. Brandon Roy stepped out of bounds, so he's having some trouble getting going. The foul trouble that took him out after 3 minutes has really limited him tonight.
Yeah, he's basically said, listen, I'm still trying to find my way with this team. And it's hard when you're in and out of the lineup. You've mentioned the adjustments he's had to make. Steve Blake was a friend of his.
Nate McMillan's first comment to us when we spoke with him before the game, he thought Friday, as Korver draws the foul, he thought Friday against Boston, the Blazers were waiting for Brandon Roy to save them at the offensive end and Marcus Camby to save them at the defensive end, and neither one started happening. When those things didn't happen, it was as if everybody else was wondering who's going to come to the rescue, and before they knew it, they were down 20 to the Celtics.
Yeah, and now Marcus Camby made 1 shot early in the ballgame against the Celtics, hasn't scored since, and he is not the same sort of center that they would have had with Odin and Prisbilla. Those guys are both around the rim guys. Well, Marcus, he'll float to the perimeter on the offensive end of the floor. So just adjustments all over the place for this team.
Korver makes a pair.
Well, you can just tell good shooters.
Yeah.
It's like they don't even touch the tin when they're making free throws.
Bayless playing off the ball, now takes the feed from Roy. Batum playing without the wrap that he had on his right shoulder that we saw on Friday night. Batum coming back, of course, from shoulder surgery that cost him the first half of the season.
The Jazz give a little possession of the zone and get a turnover.
Williams calling for the screen from Fesenko, and a travel the call down to the baseline on Millsap.
You wonder they come back with the zone again. They got the turnover in the last possession. 7-5 are those numbers. And what about this? Portland already with 17 bench points. Friday night against the Celtics. In 4 periods they were having trouble manufacturing that kind of offense.
Rudy Fernandez, Dante Cunningham, Nicholas Batum all contributing off the Blazers bench. And one of the hallmarks of this team, when healthy, is supposed to be tremendous depth. Of course, the injuries have depleted that. Juwan Howard has it blocked. Great work on the glass to keep it alive. Wow, 3 or 4 opportunities by Howard and Batum and Aldridge, but it wouldn't go down. Fired up the crowd, though. Millsap. And Korver turns it over. Nice catch by Aldridge and a foul by Fesenko. Third-year player from Ukraine, Karel Fesenko, getting minutes tonight against Mehmet Okur. If you were with us earlier, his wife gave birth to the couple's second child a couple of days ago, so Okur away from the team tonight. At the line, LaMarcus Aldridge. Men's college basketball continues on ESPN tomorrow night with a Big East Big 12 doubleheader. It's Big Monday presented by Bud Light. West Virginia will take on Connecticut at 7 Eastern, and then Oklahoma against the #1 team in the nation, the Kansas Jayhawks, all a part of Judgment Week, beginning tomorrow night on ESPN.
Connecticut has no margin for error. It is win out to get into the NCAA tournament, or at least get yourself to the Big East tournament finals.
A 14-point lead for the Blazers over the Jazz midway through the second quarter. Very low scoring start for Utah. Very low shooting percentage for them, just 33%. Williams from Boozer.
I'm not sure there's a better interior passing team in the NBA. These guys do such a sensational job in close quarters of making those kinds of passes.
Andre Miller has returned. That pass stolen away. Darren Williams off to the races, and it's blocked from behind by Batum. Roy at the other end. The replay just running on the video scoreboard here with the Rose Garden. You heard the reaction. Miles a miss. Portland ball again. Batum at the other end.
The block was so good, Dan. I had to look up at the scoreboard myself. This is just great competitive spirit right now. Batum using all that speed and length to go ahead and what looks like an easy deuce. That might have looked like LeBron twice on the pipes. And then gets out and is rewarded by running the floor. And it's a Portland. Aldridge played great tonight. And how about our man Avery Johnson today? He was talking about a team. He said, forget about the 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic. He used the 4 E's: experience, explosive, edge, and elite. You could apply that to Mr. Durant. The guy's killing it.
Korver the miss, offensive rebound Boozer. By the way, we've been told Andrei Kirilenko is experiencing back spasms and will not return tonight as Wesley Matthews gets the lay-in. So it has been a rough night in a variety of respects already for the Utah Jazz.
They've got to go back and play Atlanta. Both teams will be in a back-to-back.
Atlanta losing at Golden State. Blew an 18-point lead in the game just before us on ESPN tonight. Aldridge. Not this time. Rebound Boozer.
Well, depending on how this plays, I'm glad I don't have to do the coaches' interviews tomorrow night.
Korver. A little strong on the 3. Marcus Camby getting ready to check back in for the Blazers. Deep corner jumper. What a night for Nicholas Batum thus far.
Nice patience. Just nice job of this little setup move and then get your feet underneath you.
He's the high scorer in the game with 11. As mentioned, he missed the first half of the season after shoulder surgery. He was a starter for this team a year ago as a rookie. Nice pass. And the lay-in by Millsap. Beautiful feed from Boozer.
Yeah, he is a willing and gifted passer, I think, Boozer.
Struggling tonight, but a team that has been playing as a unit, having a lot of fun. And again, 16-2 in their last 18. The only losses to the Lakers and at Denver. That's it.
Wow.
Batum again.
I'll tell you this, 7 assists in 48 minutes by the Blazers Friday against the Celtics. They are sharing the ball. It's not sticking. They are making it look easy on the offensive end.
Boozer at the other end with the jumper to try to keep him close. Still a 15-point cushion right now for the Blazers. 3 minutes to go first half. There's the double team. Open is Miller. Kicks it right back into Aldridge. Fading away. He knocks it down.
See, and I don't even think he's predictable. It's not as though he's trying to turn over one shoulder. He's going either way. He doesn't. It's like he's got every counter you could want.
As good as he is, well, you still get the feeling he's just scratching the surface of his ability. Matthews. Rejected, to say the least, and then a good bounce from Millsap.
You take that, though, I think. I mean, both guys, Brandon Roy will compete on the defensive end of the floor. Both he and Aldridge were trying to make a play.
Miller for 3. Again, that's not his game, just 21% from beyond the arc, but they're doubling down, playing off him, and he's taking the open shot. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first half, dominated by Portland. Bullet pass inside from Darren Williams to Carlos Boozer. And a timeout taken by Nate McMillan.
I think a good one. You get the sense that this team is starting to heat up. The pass by Boozer was sensational inside. And this one on the next possession, very nice.
This season than the Portland Trailblazers have. Really a remarkable job by Nate McMillan, his coaching staff, and the healthy players to keep this team in the playoff run.
Well, he should know we're too old for that. And is that ESPN's version of the Vitruvian Man? That head on that thing was scary.
Well, a little creepy. Nate McMillan, the Achilles is better. He's got the fancy shoes back on again instead of the boot he was wearing for several weeks.
A competitor as a player, I think stylistically it reminds me a little bit of Jerry Sloan. I think he's going to be brutally honest with his players. The consummate pro over there.
Boozer from 17 feet away, too strong. Rebound of Batum, who's been one of the big stories in this game so far. Off the bench with 14 points, 7 rebounds, and a spectacular block shot.
Yeah, you love the guy because he's one of the better perimeter defenders. He can make shots, and he competes. I just like how hard he runs the floor and competes on the defensive end.
Great minutes from Rudy Fernandez off the bench as well. Marcus Camby, remember he was at the scorer's table, sat back down, and then he came back in, but he hasn't played a lot of minutes, just 9 minutes here in the first half, and again has not been a big factor. Williams sneaks it inside. Boozer loses it out of bounds. Coming up at halftime, the Toyota Halftime Show with Mark Jones, Avery Johnson, and Jamal Mashburn as I get you caught up on some of the games from earlier today. ABC doubleheader. You saw Denver beat Boston a little bit earlier, Cleveland and Orlando. The Superman battle today, and then Golden State with a very nice comeback win over Atlanta. Wesley Matthews in transition slams it home.
So exactly what you want. A little inroads into the lead by Portland. Some better play by Utah down the stretch of this half.
2 seconds, maybe 3, the difference between the game clock and the shot clock running down the half.
And straight isolation. Darren will give him a cushion early, but here comes the screen.
Miller and a foul. Millsap got the block, but it looks like Darren Williams is called for the foul. And you got two big, strong point guards here. Williams a little bit bigger than Miller, but both of them like to get into the paint and use their strength.
Both can bully you a little bit. Well, our guy Jamal Monster Mash, he better be happy John Wall's probably going to leave after 1 year. He'd be climbing that scoring list fast at the University of Kentucky. Monster Mash, he's out of there.
And expected to be the #1 overall pick in all likelihood in June. 22nd timeout, Portland. We'll step aside. Brandon Roy left 3 minutes into the game with a couple of fouls, came back and didn't really get going. Just 4 points in the first half, but good news for Roy and the rest of the Blazers. Batum, Rudy Fernandez, Dante Cunningham, Jeremy DeBalis, the bench combined for 24 points. Outstanding field goal percentage in the first half for Portland. Meanwhile, for Utah, C.J. Miles will start the second half. As mentioned, Andrei Kirilenko back spasms. He will not return.
Well, and the reason Kirilenko's so big, Jerry Sloan points him out as the guy who's made the biggest difference in the 16-2 run. He got back to the guy impacting possessions on both ends, and now we're going to get a foul on Utah to start the period. Wesley
Matthews saying, who, me? Look at this innocent face. You think I could knock Brandon Roy that far?
You talk about standing up cutters. Wow.
Webster to inbound it for Portland. Webster just 2 points, took only 2 shots in the first half. And an early Portland turnover. Matthews, whose dad spent a decade in the NBA. And a late whistle, but a foul call on the drive by Matthews. It goes on Aldridge. So Wesley Matthews to the line now for Utah. Got an invite to play in the Summer League for Utah. Played well enough. Got an invite to the training camp. Made the team. Some injuries early. Became a starter. Then went back to the bench. And now with the trade of Brewer back starting again. And they're not looking for him to be a hero or anything. Just move the ball, hit the open shot, and play good defense.
Rick Adelman, before their matchup with Utah, talked about Jerry Sloan's ability to get the most out of young talent, and he just has a knack for it. The organization has a knack for finding those guys.
And this is still a young Utah team. I think at the beginning of the year they were the 3rd youngest team in the NBA. Roy. Tipped back out by Camby.
I think Nate McMillan knows how important Brandon Roy is to him. First 2 possessions, he posts him up and gets him a look on the wing. He's trying to get his guy going.
Roy missing 14 games and parts of 2 others because of that hamstring injury. Good hands by Matthews, but Roy's got it. Still a lot of time on the shot clock. Miller. In and out. Rebound Boozer. Bullet pass. Millsap. Offensive foul. The charge taken by Martell Webster.
Well, we've had some guys willing to step in and take those tonight. Is that the 3rd or 4th one we've seen? Rudy Fernandez took a couple in the first half. Just getting yourself outside the restricted area, making sure you're set.
Roy again. And this time he finds the bottom of the net.
Boy, when healthy, this guy is just an explosive scorer, and he doesn't blow you away with athleticism. It's sort of meticulous, a little up fake, a little junk around the rim.
22 points per game when he has enough games to qualify. He found himself in the top 10 in the league. Good move inside by Boozer. Foul on Aldridge.
Well, he still says he's trying to find himself. You miss a month of action or thereabouts, you're going to struggle a little bit. But Nate has gone 3 straight times to his guy, just trying to get him started.
It took Roy a while to get comfortable with Andre Miller. Roy and Steve Blake, a great working relationship, spent a number of years together, just like Darren Williams talking about the trade of Ronnie Brewer. I think a little bit unsettling for both these guys on the court. And also for Brandon Roy, Travis Outlaw was maybe his closest friend on the team. So, you know, they learn it's a business. You got to put it behind you, and you always got another game tomorrow.
Doesn't make it easy. It's a good thing Jeff Van Gundy's not on this game. He'd be killing me for that comment. Be like, it's a job. Get it done.
Miller waiting for Camby to join him in the front court. Portland has a team fewer possessions per game than any team in the NBA. They don't run much. They use the clock. They look for the high percentage shot. Nice pass, Aldridge to Miller. Yes. Miller taking a seat with one of the cameramen under the basket. Now racing it back on defense. Williams finds Miles, who misses the three. Aldridge fading away. And the rebound to Darren Williams. Utah now without Okur and Kirilenko tonight. Great block by Camby. 7th in the league in that department this year. And now the rebound by Camby. 2nd in the league in that department this season.
So I think you're missing Okur in a couple of ways. He's got the most threes for a guy 6'11" above. There's an N1. But you're missing a guy who can stretch the defense with 3, and you've got some size. Obviously, LaMarcus getting some work done. He'd be banging against Okur. Now you got a smaller defender at Carlos Boozer, albeit a guy who's going to try to get into Aldridge's legs. But he's developed his strength, Dan. I mean, I'm not sure in his rookie season he would have had the strength to get that up and over, and he'd be shooting some free throws, but not an end one.
5 field goals tonight for Aldridge. We saw that running hook there. We saw a jump hook. We saw a fadeaway jumper. We saw a turnaround jumper. We've seen a lot of the different skills of LaMarcus Aldridge.
I'm going to describe it better than I did Friday and say it's a complete offensive arsenal. He's got it all.
On the switch now, Williams, defended by Camby, tries to find Boozer. Camby, another block. Any offense they get from him is a bonus. They acquired him to protect the paint.
They looked out of sync. There were a couple times Friday where the Celtics got backdoor cuts, easy, uncontested opportunities.
With the shot clock running down, Millsap draws air. Portland ball. Marcus Camby, the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year 3 years ago. And still a terrific shot blocker. Everybody says, too, he just fits in beautifully with a team, good teammate. And really just wants to step in and contribute. And he's gone from a team that was out of the playoff picture to a team that is hoping, obviously, to make the playoffs. And both he and the Blazers have already said they don't want this to be a rent-a-player arrangement. They're already thinking about a new contract.
Yeah, well, I think there's a real value, obviously. Most franchises concerned about protecting the rim. There is Kevin Pritchard. Heather Cox had a chance to catch up with him, seeing basically the same thing. And I think Camby's defensive game should be a seamless adjustment, Dan. I think it's the offensive end where he does this, and that's the thing that Odin would not do.
Camby, a guy who starts off at the high post. They don't run a lot of plays for him at all. Gets a lot of his points just getting on the offensive glass. Count it.
So a jumper, and this is where he excels, boy. He also has enough strength to take contact. Got a terrific mid-range game.
And you can see Roy already with more points this quarter than he had in the entire first half, much of which he missed after the 2 early fouls. Now into double figures. So a Portland team that suffered its worst defeat of the season Friday night against Boston is now up 22 on Utah, which came in here as one of the hottest teams in the league. Go figure. Camby the steal. Camby leading the break. Webster for 3. Boy, look at the length between Camby and Aldridge. They're 2 big guys. Both 6'11", both really long, as Aldridge will head right back to the free throw line.
See, he hasn't had to bang against Memo Okur at all. You've had Carlos playing a ton of minutes. And despite the height disparity, you've got great speed in Aldridge to get by.
Watch live NBA action all season long wherever you are with NBA League Pass Mobile. Now available for half price. Log on to www.nba.com/LP Mobile now to learn more. The lead has ballooned to 23 here in the second half. 1 of 2 for Aldridge. Remember, Utah, of course, has beaten Portland all 3 times this year, and all 3 times easily double figures in 2 of those games, leading for every single second of the game. Miles off a screen. Rebound Camby. Miller forcing it. Camby. And it rolls off the rim, and an offensive rebound by Miller. Portland dominating in every statistical category, out shooting Utah, out rebounding them by 8. Miller, great cut by Aldridge. And it's a 14-0 run for the home team.
Can you imagine if they do keep Marcus Camby? He would probably come off the bench because Greg Oden would be the starter. Nice little back door. I mean, those are 2 drastically different looks. Greg Oden has a little bit more bulk to him than Marcus Camby. That'd be a nice center tandem.
Slam by Millsap. Snaps the long run for Portland. Aldridge, by the way, with 15 points tonight. It's the 17th game in a row he has scored at least 15 points. On the season, he's averaging just over 17 a game. Another miss from beyond the arc for Miller. Another tap out and another possession for the Trailblazers. Roy. Camby all over the glass here in the second half. Can't convert. And Miller is called for the block. And it'll be a shooting foul as Deron Williams got that shot up just in time.
LaMarcus Aldridge has shown us a lot of different things. This particular instance on the drive, he just cuts right to the rim. Nice job by Andre. Again, strength to hold off defenders and understand that LaMarcus is going to make that dive.
This is the final game of a 4-game road trip for the Utah Jazz, winning the first 3. They'll head home to face Atlanta and Charlotte after this. Portland wrapping up a homestand. They start a 5-game road trip on Tuesday. New Jersey, Toronto, Chicago, Minnesota, and Memphis. So a test for the Trailblazers out on the road.
Might not be a bad thing. You're trying to incorporate a new teammate. You've got new rotation, so you get a little time to gel and to bond. This is generally the time where you see San Antonio, their rodeo trip, come together. They've just struggled mightily.
Aldridge drawing a crowd. Turnaround jumper, no. Camby taps it out, but Williams has it. Wesley Matthews, count it. A great driving layup by the rookie Matthews. And he'll head to the line looking for a 3-point play when we come back to the Rose Garden. That's about all that's gone right here.
Anton Jamison played better in his second game, albeit a loss with the Cavs today. Very hard to find your footing first time out as it was for Marcus on Friday night.
Camby struggling at the offensive end, as you can see, but definitely a presence at the defensive end. 10 rebounds, couple of blocks. Wesley Matthews at the line looking to complete the 3-point play. He will, as Rudy Fernandez checks into the game for Portland. Gives him some good minutes in the first half. Instead of replacing Brandon Roy, though, as he did in the first half, he plays alongside Roy now. Juwan Howard is in for LaMarcus Aldridge.
Utah showing zone again, much as they did in the first half.
And we've got a block on Millsap. Third foul. And the 15th foul already in the quarter on Utah. So to the line goes Brandon Roy. Jerry Sloan will make a change now. Millsap out and Kirill Fesenko comes in again. Utah as a team after the Brewer trade, they're only carrying 12 players right now. They've only got 12 guys on the team, and Okur is not with them tonight after his wife had a baby, and Kirilenko's now got back spasms. So there are only, at this point, 10 available bodies for Jerry Sloan.
But you have to fill that roster spot by rule, yes?
They had 2 weeks, I believe, to at least get up to 13 players. So they'll look to sign another player in the next several days. Darren Williams bangs home a 3. That's the first 3 of the game for Utah. And in the 2-3 again.
Yeah, they're just staying in the zone. It helped him in a couple of possessions in the first half. Portland turned it over.
10-2 run right now for the Jazz. Still down by 17, though. Once trailed by 25. Fernandez with the teardrop. No. Got it back.
He's worked really hard on that shot after practice with the coaches. It looks easy for some guys. That doesn't look easy.
Another turnover. Matthews will not convert, but draws the foul. He's headed right back to the free throw line. Earlier today, we saw Denver with a huge lead over Boston, gave it up, but won the game. We saw Atlanta in the game before us on ESPN with a big lead. They blew it, lost to Golden State. Leads in excess of what we're seeing right now. There's a lot of basketball still to be played. On the NBA calendar on NBA TV, Tuesday night it'll be the Lakers at Memphis at 8 Eastern. Kobe expected to return for that game and also to play Wednesday night when the Lakers are at Dallas on ESPN. Doubleheader Thursday on TNT, Cleveland at Boston, then Denver at Golden State. And the Sunday showcase next Sunday on ABC, Phoenix at San Antonio, Denver at the Lakers. Great doubleheader.
Be fascinated to see Cleveland-Boston. Cleveland on its first 3-game skid in quite some time. Boston off the 3-1 West Coast road swing. That will be really interesting to watch.
Boston returning home now. They'll play the Knicks Tuesday. Nate Robinson expected to make his Celtics debut in that game against his former team. Fernandez for 3. Juwan Howard with the offensive rebound.
So they're getting some things out of this 2-3 zone, but one thing they didn't do in the first half and they're not doing here is finishing possessions by rebounding it.
It's definitely slowed the Blazers down a little bit. Utah's on a 12-2 run right now. Good cut by Roy. Switches hands and lays it in.
Goes right to the weak spot of the zone. They tried to screen at the top. Fernandez had the runner that didn't go. Nice little cut from the weak side by Brandon.
Williams can't shake Miller. Shot clock at 7. Miles for 3. Boozer right back up and in.
I thought that was an and one. I think Bennett Salvatore, is he going to get it? Yeah.
I think Bennett was expecting the call to come from the baseline because it did look like there was a shove, so a very late whistle. Let's take another look.
I really thought it was an and one. He takes a pretty good shot from behind, it looked like. Yeah, I mean, he got him on the back and on the head.
Yeah. It was the push in the back with the left hand, I think, that Bennett Salvatore was signaling. With the Howard with the right arm tried to block the shot, but he also pushed him in the back with the left hand.
Did you see Carlos's face before the whistle blew? He's like, come on.
Well, you don't hang around in the NBA as long as Juwan Howard has without picking up a couple of tricks, but that time he got caught.
That's right. Little hold in the jersey, little push when they're not looking.
Now a Camby foul. So Fisenko will head to the line.
Bayless will check in, and he has the ability, Dan, to change the pace of the game. He's a speedball guy.
Fisenko, third-year player out of Ukraine, as Bayless comes in. Kirill Fisenko, 7'1", 300 pounds. One of 3 300-pounders in the NBA, joining Yao Ming, not healthy this year, and, of course, Shaquille O'Neal. Boozer offensive rebound. And finally, Portland ball. Boozer wanted another foul on that play. Boozer coming off a 30-point-16 rebound effort a couple of nights ago in a win at Golden State. Fernandez for 3. Roy the assist.
Oh, yeah, that was deep. They're in that 2-3 zone. He was way out there. You would have had to go a bit to recover out. Interesting now that they made the shot where they stay zoned in.
Korver misses. And they pick up the transition man-to-man. Fernandez around the screen by Howard. Roy. Rebound Boozer. Now Roy screaming for a foul.
Not himself, though. I mean, that's usually an end one. You could tell he's missed some time.
Williams. Boy, that's tough.
That's a big-time move right there. Didn't even look like he had control when he went up with it.
It's the third field goal of the night for Williams. He does have 12 points, also 7 rebounds and 7 assists tonight. So a potential triple-double tonight for Deron Williams. Bayless, foot on the line. Utah ball. Williams again. And Boozer on the glass. Utah getting back into it here late in the third quarter, and great effort on the offensive glass by the Jazz in the last few minutes.
Just clearing space in there.
Batum is getting ready to check in for Portland. He was the star of the first half. Roy using a couple of ball screens. Now Fernandez, tough fadeaway shot. Boy, how many times have we seen Camby do that tonight?
It makes them play an awful lot of defense for all those offensive boards.
It will stay with Portland. 10 on the shot clock. Just over a minute to go here in the third quarter. Brandon Roy trying to get it going. He's up to 14 points now in this game. 10 of them here in the third quarter. But at the other end, Deron Williams doing everything that he can to try to give the Jazz a chance to win their 7th straight road game. Bringing in Nicholas Batum, who had 14 first-half points. Fernandez to Camby, who lays it in. Marcus Camby with his first points of the night.
Yeah, see, that figured out. I mean, he had the early field goal against Boston, hadn't scored since then, missed all of his shots until that one. He gets a running start.
Does have 11 rebounds and a couple of blocks tonight, Camby. The lead was once as big as 25, still 15 right now, here in the last minute of the third. Davis spelling Miller at the point right now, pulls up for the jumper. Deron Williams. And he'll shoot a couple.
Camby, again, a guy who likes to float along the perimeter. Able to use his movement to get a shot opportunity.
Deron Williams at the line after steamrolling Jared Bayless. Not much you can do with Deron Williams when he's bearing down on you with that strength.
So many different ways to attack things. For Deron Williams, he doesn't blow you away with athleticism, Dan, but he's got a handle on the basketball, knows how to work the pick and roll. You have Steve Nash, who just keeps his dribble alive and picks her apart with precision. Chris Paul, who's got the similar kind of handle, but unbelievable speed. A lot of different ways to work it.
And a couple of free throws for Williams. You saw Dante Cunningham back into the game, and a nice ovation for Camby as he heads to the bench. Shot clock turned off here. Final seconds of the third.
He'll flatten it out. The ball screened by Cunningham.
Bayless. 3 seconds. Batum. Howard not in time. It will not count here by the end of the third quarter. But Portland still hanging on to that double-digit lead. Utah made a run at them in the third. And they, well, a good end to the third quarter for the Utah Jazz. As Coach McMillan talked about, that zone became a stop sign, he says. And Utah got some turnovers, capitalized on the other end. And a 21-9 run for the Jazz to end the third. And they're back within striking distance at 13. Korver. Well, the Jazz could really use Korver recovering that shooting stroke. He could be lethal, but working himself back into game shape, coming off the knee surgery a while back, and the stroke just not yet there.
Well, he took the All-Star break to go down to Santa Barbara and work with the same guy who has completely changed Andrei Kirilenko's frame. And it's been a big part of Andrei's success this year, stronger physically.
Millsap gives it up. Miles floats it up there, doesn't get the bounce. Well, Utah's had got to be 9 or 10 shots just like that, bouncing all over the rim, but not going down for them tonight. Bayless looking awfully confident, Doris, the last couple of games we've seen him running the point.
Yeah, he just is playing at a very good pace, but not rushing things when he gets into a half court.
The miss by Howard. Good hustle by Cunningham to save it. Looks like Miles took a shot in the mouth inadvertently, but everybody plays on. Everybody's okay.
No blood, no foul.
That's right. Ronnie Price at the point right now for Deron Williams. Price gave him a couple of baskets in the first half. Pretty stagnant right now. So Price takes matters into his own hands and draws the foul. Meanwhile, Brandon Roy trying to keep that hamstring loose, working on the bike right now. Remains to be seen if he'll come back in, had it wrapped up. The hamstring that caused him to miss 14 games, came back at a game Tuesday, couldn't make it in the second half, and he played 34 minutes Friday, but didn't have a great game. He has been better here tonight, looking more like his old self.
Yeah, he practiced the 2 days prior to Boston. He said, I felt better as I would try to push off, make some moves. It's almost like you have to be comfortable in your own mind that that hamstring is not going to give if you have an explosive drive to the rim, which we see him do quite often.
Nice little run here by the second unit of Utah. Price was out of bounds, so it'll be Portland ball. We'll see how long Jerry Sloan stays with this group before he brings back in Williams and Boozer. Andre Miller back in for Jared Bayless for Portland.
Is that the sign of a young player? You hear that horn and you look over and see, is that me coming out?
Batum looking for his first points in the second half after 14 in the first half. Cunningham, not this time. Fusenko just doing his job.
Yeah.
Getting some rebounds, just being big out there for Utah. Price. Millsap, the offensive rebound, right back up with it, and again it rolls off the rim. Blocked by Batum, but they're going to count it.
Yeah, that's Fusenko keeping that basketball alive. Again, just working, making sure he keeps moving his feet, staying around the rim, and getting a little bit more uncomfortable over there if you're Portland.
Goaltending on to Batum, and that's why Marcus Camby is up there. Nate McMillan has seen enough of the offensive rebounding and the chances around the rim for the Jazz. Wow. Korver getting all tangled up with Fernandez. Korver called for the foul. The lead down to 10. It was 25 earlier this half.
And not showing zone here. This is Utah coming out of the zone. Just changes your rhythm a little bit, even a few possessions of it.
Camby back in. Portland yet to score here in the fourth quarter. Miller.
How they're going to get Millsap.
Yeah.
I thought that was Juwan over the back, maybe.
I think Juwan thought the same thing. Fourth on Millsap, second team foul.
Was Juwan heading the other direction?
Portland needs a score. They need something to stem the tide here. It's been all Utah lately. Miller, that's more his game. Putting it on the floor, getting to the line.
LaMarcus Aldridge, he's just getting a little rest here. You got to believe he's going to come back with him shortly.
And that's the fifth foul on Millsap. So he'll come out. Carlos Boozer back in for the Jazz.
The two guys you normally go to if you're Portland and you need a basket are LaMarcus or Brandon, and neither guy on the floor. First half, they needed Andre Miller to be aggressive. We'll see how it continues here in the fourth.
These will be the 8th and 9th free throw attempts of the night for Andre Miller. Aldridge resting on the bench. Roy still working on the bike. And it gets them both.
Portland's going to try to change the tempo of this thing. Now they'll change their defense, come with a little full court pressure.
Miles, a good job to get it over. Hounded by Batum. Vucevic needs help. Bad things happen. You can just see that coming a mile away. Somebody's got to go get the basketball from that young man.
Yeah, don't ask him to do something he can't do, and that's handle from 15 feet away.
And he didn't want to do it.
No.
He wasn't left with much of a choice.
Well, you got Boozer back. When do you go back to Darren Williams, or can you?
Darren Williams appearing to suffer some sort of a right leg injury earlier. That was in the first half. We'll see when Jerry Sloan brings him back. Rebound Boozer. Boozer's got 16 rebounds for the second game in a row. Man, tough rims tonight for Utah.
Well, and shots, again, this is the team that leads the NBA in field goal percentage. They're getting close opportunities. The kinds of shots their execution typically gets them.
Batum. And he suffers the same fate. Utah shooting only 37% tonight. Portland not much better at 41%, but it's good enough for a 12-point lead right now as both coaches try to search for some offense here in the fourth.
The Jazz under Jerry Sloan are not going away. He is a fiery, tough coach. He expects his guys, and there will help their cause, Utah. Darren Williams back in the game.
The floor leader has returned. 14 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists for Williams tonight. Just over 8 minutes to go. Utah's beaten Portland 3 times already this season, all handily. Utah trying to extend a road winning streak to 7. Vucevic, Camby knocks it away. Shot clock at 6. Korver. They needed that one. He needed that one. And all of a sudden, the lead is down to 9.
Yeah, just great patience by Darren Williams.
It is a 27-11 run right now for Utah, and they come up with a turnover. No call, and a Williams turnover to give it right back. Howard off to Fernandez, and he'll settle things down.
It's still no LaMarcus Aldridge. He's waiting at the scorer's table, and now Brandon Roy is as well.
Batum lost it. Utah ball. As you say, Doris, here comes the cavalry. Here's Roy and Aldridge, the top 2 scorers on the Trailblazers this season.
Aldridge has got 4 personal fouls, 9 rebounds, 15 points for him.
So it's Miller, Roy, Fernandez, Aldridge, and Camby in the game right now for Portland. Williams. Vucevic back up strong.
But he's been sensational all night long. He's gotten upward of 15 minutes now because Memo Okoro, again, his wife delivering their second baby. So this guy's seeing a lot of run tonight and really making good use of his time. I don't know that his stats would blow you away, Dan, but he's just constantly been around the rim trying to keep balls alive.
ESPN is your NBA destination Wednesday night, and it's a good one. The Lakers and the Mavericks at 9 o'clock Eastern. It begins with GMC NBA Countdown at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN HD, and ESPN360.com.
Kobe back for that one?
Kobe should be back for that one. Expected to play Tuesday and also Wednesday. Now another Portland foul. Boozer just got pushed in the back again. Penalty situation to Boozer heading to the line. Number 5 on LaMarcus Aldridge. And that's going to necessitate a change in the mind of Nate McMillan. Juwan Howard is going to come back in. That's a big play right there.
A big miss because, Juwan is a consummate pro, but he does not have the offensive arsenal that LaMarcus has displayed throughout the course of this night.
Now this has gone from a potential laugher in favor of the Trailblazers to anything but. It was 64-39 at one point for Portland. 29-11 run right now for the Jazz.
Look at how far this ball comes back next to us. That is a bizarre delivery from the free throw line.
76% from the line for the big man. Look at the run by the Jazz. Roy in the post. Williams hedging over. Shot clock at 6. Roy draws the foul. And the foul on Miles, his third. Roy to the line for 2.
That's the area who likes it, Dan. They're going to post him up. They bring him to that side of the floor. They clear everybody away and allow him to use his one-on-one skills to get here to the free throw line.
Roy 78% on the season and misses the first. We have seen him struggle at times with free throws in the last few games. 3 for 4 tonight. The lead at 7. Darren Williams slapped off the rim by Brandon Roy. Rudy Fernandez, no. Rebound Boozer.
Well, that really looked like it could have been over the 10.
And the Utah players agreed with you. Now Boozer down on the post. Howard knocks it away. Great hustle by Miller, but he slides out of bounds. It'll be Utah ball. Under 6 minutes to go. Timeout on the floor here in Portland. A 7-point game. The Blazers trying to hang on. Well, as Barry Melrose said on SportsCenter today, here's the difference. The USA hockey team wants to win. The Canadian hockey team needs to win. That's the feeling that it is.
Wait a second. Okay, I didn't think you all got that uptight about anything.
That's right. Nice, relaxed, polite people, except when it comes to hockey. What a bounce there for Miles. And how about the Utah Jazz from 25 down midway through the third quarter? They're back within 4 with an eternity left in this game. Roy, great fake. Howard passes it up. Miller steps in, leaves it short. Great hustle, though, to get it back. That was Camby with another great hustle play.
See, Miller can't bully Darren Williams. No, that is a tough shot because Darren makes him work for every piece of real estate.
Williams, Camby.
You got Marcus Camby to protect the rim. Darren Williams has gotten by on the crossover that time on a little inside-out move, but the former Defensive Player of the Year meets him at the rim.
Williams was asking for a foul as the block party continues to grow here with the Rose Garden. Portland's got the ball back. Marcus Camby, 13 boards, 3 blocks tonight. Portland has not made a field goal until now here in the fourth quarter. The lead back to 6. Boozer. It has been a while since Boozer has been heard from offensively, but still a monster night. 17 points, 19 rebounds for Boozer.
Yeah, and you're going back to LaMarcus Aldridge. Actually, I think you should. You're struggling to generate offense. He is one of your key guys.
Roy wants it. Isolation on Miles. Here comes Williams. Shot clock at 3. Miller. Another tap back by Marcus Camby, the 4th or 5th time he's tapped it out for a fresh 24.
And another 24 seconds of defense here.
Roy. You know what? He won't get an assist, but Marcus Camby deserves one on that possession.
We'll give him a hockey assist in honor of your Canadian team.
Roy up to 17. A lot of traffic underneath. And there's that man Millsap again, somehow creating space.
It's amazing. A guy that size with white jerseys on either side of him is able to get through and get up and near the rim.
42 points in the paint tonight for the Jazz. Portland with the lead by 4 and the ball just over 3 to go. Miller left open again. He can't buy one right now.
Yeah, I thought he settled for some three-point shots early. There's a difference between an open shot and a good shot.
Miller just 5 for 16 tonight. Boozer can't keep it in bounds. It'll be Portland ball.
He's working though, Dan. There's a reason he has as many rebounds as he has tonight. He has flat out worked for him.
Remember the Jazz in a race right now for second in the Western Conference. They need a win tonight to stay within a half game of Denver. The Nuggets beating Boston earlier today. Utah with its longest road winning streak right now since Stockton and Malone were there. They won 6 in a row away from home, looking for number 7 here tonight.
Might work the 2-man game one side of the floor. Nope, they're going to clear for Brandon.
And a foul on Miles. Under 3 to go. Brandon Roy. Not 100% healthy, but given everything he's got, 17 points tonight for Portland. Utah, though, not going away, down by only 4. At the line as we return to action here with 2:43 to go. Brandon Roy. Roy 4 for 5 from the line tonight. Korver is back in the game for Utah, another good outside shooter. So it's Boozer, Millsap, Williams, Korver, and Miles right now for the Jazz.
Wow.
2 big misses, but Roy follows it up. No basket. He got fouled as he grabbed the offensive rebound, and he's going right back to the line.
It's their 6.5 trips a game. The Jazz just fall asleep. Carlos Boozer's worked so hard the entire night. It comes long. Nobody. That's the guards' fault. That's not the 2 bigs, Millsap and Boozer. That's the top guys not checking out.
And Millsap fouls out, forcing Fosenko back into the game for the Jazz and giving Roy another chance at the line. The leader of this team, 4th-year player out of the University of Washington, up to 18 points now on the night in 26 minutes.
Maybe finding himself a little bit tonight, Dan. They've gone exclusively through him for much of this 4th period.
We've got Roy on Miles right now on a switch. Batum finds himself on Deron Williams. Korver, his 2nd in a row from that spot.
He got his legs healthy, took the time to get healthy over the All-Star break. Just a dead-eye shooter when his feet are set.
This is the closest that Utah has been since way back early in the first quarter. Roy, and he's headed right back to the free throw line.
Now, Kyle Korver's job is to get to either corner off penetration. Darren Williams, one side of the floor, looks opposite. White jerseys reacting, but a long way to recover, Dan.
And a couple of big threes for Kyle Korver. The lead down to 3. Roy will try to extend it at the line.
Shooters need healthy legs, and Kyle Korver is starting to get healthy.
And Utah needs a healthy Kyle Korver to realize their goals. He can be a big difference maker. This is kind of new for him just in recent games as he started to get fourth quarter minutes from Jerry Sloan.
Wesley Matthews is not on the floor. He had been getting some fourth quarter minutes, but a nice punch by Korver.
4 misses at the line tonight for Brandon Roy. 7 for 11. Williams now has Camby on him. Fasenko. Boozer with great position. Camby a block. What a scramble for the ball. Marcus Camby with 14 rebounds and 4 block shots tonight.
What a difference 48 hours and your second game with a team makes.
The All-Stars, Roy and Williams. Aldridge. Camby with another one.
How many times have we seen that tonight? Extra possessions forcing Utah to play an awful lot of defense.
Time winding down now on the Jazz. Miller fading away. No. Aldridge with a rebound this time. Jerry Sloan can hardly look. Not much of the offensive end, but that's not why they got him. He's doing what he does best. 15 rebounds, 4 blocks. A number of the rebounds actually were at the offensive end, setting up extra possessions and getting Portland points that they have desperately needed here tonight. Shot clock runs under 10. Roy behind the back. Shot clock at 2. They're crashing the glass, couldn't finish. Utah's got the ball. They need a quick score. Williams takes the bump. It won't stay down, so he'll shoot a couple.
Nice efficient possession. You're lucky they didn't get the N1 in that instance. This crossover has been so effective. Camby on the opposite end. You see Batum with a good challenge, but the body of the court. Camby just misses a follow make on the opposite end. Big miss.
Miller back into the game now for Fernandez. Utah's got a full timeout and a couple of 20s. Portland still has a couple of 20s. Neither team with a foul to give. Two-point game.
I would assume they're going to go right back to Brandon. He's been getting it on the left side of the floor, right in the mid-post area. Darren Williams did a sensational job defensively last possession.
Just 6 seconds separating the game clock and the shot clock. Miller looking up at the clock.
They can't even get him to get a catch. Nice job by Darren.
Now Roy's got it. Batum. Utah ball. And a timeout called. They'll have a chance to set up to try to tie or win it.
Boy, what a job by Darren Williams.
Playing defense on a Brandon Roy. Fasenko wraps up the last 2 possessions. Darren Williams' defense has been one of those things.
Well, he's denying. He's face guarding. I mean, he's basically saying, okay, you're going to bleed before you score on me. Face guard, face guard. A lot of time ticking off the shot clock here. And finally, he's trying to get the catch. It's now about 6 seconds. Challenge, force him to give it up. The guy you maybe don't want shooting it is the guy who ends up with the basketball. Darren, a tough opponent both ends.
So Utah's got the ball, 5.4 to go. The Jazz have rallied from 25 down earlier this half to get it within 2. They can tie it or win it here potentially. SportsCenter is next here on ESPN. It'll be Williams. Boozer, yes! Boozer ties it and sends the game to overtime.
He has been a monster on the glass the entire time, and the only thing he wanted was 2 opportunities to win this. Darren gets the shot opportunity with enough time to enable Carlos to do this. A weak side glass, and we're going to overtime.
And you talk about a high degree of difficulty. Marcus Camby did everything he could to try to block that shot by Boozer. But Boozer's tonight. Brandon Roy's the high scorer in the game for the Trailblazers. He's got 20. Marcus Camby's got 16 rebounds in this game. But we've got some extra time coming here with the Rose Garden.
No more booing him at home. He's earned the right to not be booed.
How about Kirill Fesenko getting minutes here in overtime because of the absence of guys like Alcour, Kirilenko, and Millsap?
Yeah, you know, his numbers won't blow you away, but he's been a monster. He's just used his frame to try to be disruptive, keep possessions alive.
You don't see this lineup out there much for Utah. Williams, Matthews, Korver, Boozer, and Fesenko. Aldridge draws the double team. Brandon Roy, only 3 to shoot. Big three-pointer for Roy.
See, and I thought they made the switch to Wesley Matthews for his defense, and his challenge hand was in the face of Brandon Roy.
Darren Williams off to Fesenko. You can't do it any better than Darren Williams just did it.
Well, one of the things he does so well is it's multiple crossover dribbles, and the defender's just turning each direction until he gets a shoulder by. And once the shoulder's by, he's like a running back. Forget about it.
A minute into overtime, Portland by 1. Aldridge. Rebound Boozer, his 22nd.
Hey, you can bully a lot of guys, Andre Miller. You are not bullying Darren Williams.
Darren Williams playing like a man possessed right now. Boozer doesn't get the bounce. Rebound Camby. Miller in and out. He made some shots at the beginning of the night. He's 5 for 18 now, though. He has gone ice cold in the second half and overtime. Utah looking for the lead. Williams, a bounce pass into Boozer, and they've got the lead.
They're just picking them apart. You could see why this team leads the NBA, or second in paint points, 47 per game, and Portland's going to use one.
The last lead for the Utah Jazz was at 9-8 early in the first quarter. Overtime started well for the Trailblazers with Brandon Roy with the shot clock running down, hitting a standstill 3. But Utah has come back with back-to-back baskets. Darren Williams, Carlos Boozer, the Jazz by 1.
He hasn't shot it well, but the ball is in the hands of the master down the stretch. He's just using the multiple crossovers and letting Carlos Boozer get close to the rim and making things look easy for Carlos. 21 points, 4 assists, 22 rebounds.
Rudy Fernandez has checked into the game now. Batum is in there along with Roy, so Miller has gone out right now for Portland. Roy, a little bit short. Boozer grabs rebound number 23.
They've gone away from LaMarcus Aldridge. I mean, every possession has been through Brandon Roy.
Halfway through overtime, Utah with the ball in a 1-point lead. Boozer, nice pass underneath. Fesenko and 1.
And again, I'll reiterate this. This is a team that does an exceptional job with interior passing. And cutters are a big part of their offense. Carlos is not afraid. That is now assist number 5. The pick and roll He understands there's a little bit of rotation. The weak side. Yes, sir, Carlos Boozer. Nice pass, big fella.
And at the line, Fisenko again forced into action tonight because of Okur being away. Millsap fouling out. Needs a little work on the free throws. He's under 50%. But the big fella has done what he's capable of doing tonight. And he's a pretty big reason why Utah's got the lead.
Fulfill your role and don't make mistakes. And that's exactly what he's done.
Utah's got the ball back. Up by 3. Working the clock down toward 2 minutes. Williams to Boozer again, and a foul.
I was going to say they was holding his jersey, and it doesn't matter how the set starts. Eventually, Deron Williams is going to catch the basketball, and they're going to go pick and roll. And that's, forget the pants. I mean, forget the shirt, it's the pants.
Not in the penalty yet, so Utah ball again, 14 on the shot clock. Now the crossover, sheds the defender and makes the shot. Deron Williams is one tough customer.
It's been a gutty performance by this team. They look like they were finished.
Now Williams a foul on Roy. An 8-0 run here in overtime after the 3 by Roy that opened up the extra period.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He hasn't shot it well, but this guy is never going to duck a big shot. Crossover between the legs, gets a little bit of space, and when it counts, he makes it.
So Roy, the de facto point guard with this lineup right now. Miller's on the bench. Fernandez off the screen, juggles it. Shot clock a factor now. Fernandez blocked by Fisenko.
Deron with the ball and a 5-point lead. They say, okay, let's manage this thing from here.
Jerry Sloan values grit and toughness about as much as anything that he values. He's got to be awfully proud of the comeback that his team has made here tonight. Ooh, a turnover. Williams and Miles getting their signals crossed.
So a window opens here. And they'll use Brandon at the top of the key. Will they get 2-man with LaMarcus?
Boy, Williams is just all over Brandon Roy. Fernandez taps it back out to Aldridge. Timeout, Nate McMillan.
I tell you what, they looked like they were down and out. They scrapped, they clawed, they made the plays. Portland has struggled at times throughout the course of the year with all the personnel adjustments, losses, and so on and so forth to generate offense. We've seen these droughts before.
Deron Williams has played 43 minutes tonight. Carlos Boozer in excess of 43 minutes, and they have both had great nights. Boozer's numbers are off the charts right now. 21 points, 23 rebounds. Quick handoff to Fernandez. Fisenko may have gotten a piece, certainly contested it. Fernandez still down and possibly shaken up under the basket as an argument ensues over whose ball it is.
The 3 officials going to get together and confer. They're going to make sure the players are away from them as they discuss this.
The Jazz contending the ball hit Fernandez before it hit the floor, that Fernandez was lying out of bounds and that the ball hit him before it hit the floor. I think they got a case. Fernandez up and appears to...
And I like that you can go to the monitor for that. The bottom line is you want to get it correct.
Can't do it all the time, just the last 2 minutes of regulation or any overtime period. So Utah gets it back, up by 5, less than a minute to go. And Portland will pressure. Utah with some very good free throw shooters as well. Portland looking for the turnover. Utah gets it over. Now they'll try to get a stop. Williams. Tap back out. Portland ball. 3-on-2. Fernandez for three. Pass is tipped, but Boozer comes up with it. Nearly stolen away, and now they've got a foul.
Well, just a great play by Brandon Roy, recognizing that he could have attacked the basket, but Fernandez was waiting. So the push into the paint, Fernandez repositions, gets some speed set, and a nice distribution by Brandon. Took a lot of time. They went for the trap and steal, didn't get it, so then they had to foul.
And the foul on Aldridge, he fouls out, so Juwan Howard comes back in. And not a penalty situation yet. That was a foul to give there, so it's going to be Utah ball on the side. 13 seconds to go, 2-point lead. The next one will put the Jazz on the line. And quickly, Boozer is fouled. 76% on the season from the line, but struggling tonight, just 3 for 7. Now to make it a 2-possession game. Portland's got 1 20-second timeout left. Missed it. And they'll use that last timeout.
This is the old philosophy now. You know, if you're at Utah, you've got a 3-point lead. Do you foul?
So Webster comes into the game. Roy and Fernandez are in as well. Batum is not. And you got a couple of big guys in Howard and Camby. For Utah, Fisenko, Boozer, Korver, Miles, Darren Williams. Williams covering Brandon Roy.
Yep. And now you might see Utah, after a couple of ticks at the clock go off, give a foul.
Roy gets it off. In and out. Rebound Miles. Dejection for Brandon Roy.
Well, this was a matchup that has been so pivotal. He tries to get him to bite and maybe lean in and draw the foul, but Darren disciplined defensively to just get the challenge hand up with no contact.
Realistically, Miles needs 1 to ice it. Didn't get the first. Utah coming back from a 25-point deficit to force overtime. Trying to steal it right here.
Wow.
Pretty gritty performance by the Jazz here tonight on the road.
7 consecutive wins.
Fernandez and Utah, 7 consecutive wins, as you said, on the road. 17 of 19 overall. Boozer with 22 points, 23 rebounds. And Utah has taken all 4 games from Portland here for the regular season, and they stay right on the heels of the Denver Nuggets for 2nd place in the Western Conference. Just a half game back of the Nuggets, who beat Boston early.